Everything has gone well for Elementalists save for one thing. The most overpowered ability ever conceived has finally met its downfall, but not really. The rush component of Fiery Greatsword will abort if some form of teleportation is used, therefore preventing the stacking of the damaging flames. Luckily, walls still exist within the game, so the only consequence of this is that some gimmick PvP builds will be considerably less effective. The rest of the alterations are more trivial. Burning Speed will now grant evasion, which it probably should have done anyway, Frozen Burst is a blast finisher, Water Trident will grant 3 seconds of regeneration, Armor of Earth's cooldown is now 75 seconds, and Signet of Restoration and Cleansing Water no longer have terrible PvP counterparts. The extra blast finisher for dagger wielders will bring them more in line with their scepter grasping counterparts. It's a shame neither of them can produce a water field, then true imbalance could be achieved. The regeneration on Water Trident will produce a slightly stronger heal, but more importantly will grant a relatively short cooldown condition removal ability combined with Cleansing Water. The new Grandmaster traits are all fairly unremarkable except for Stoneheart. Immunity from critical hits, while utterly useless against the more prevalent condition-based builds, will make it near impossible to burst down Elementalists, and potentially disables powerful traits which activate on delivering critical hits. Some way behind on the interestingness scale is Lightning Rod for air, which will strike opponents with a weakening lightning bolt whenever the Elementalists interrupts them. Although this is hardly an equal to Fresh Air, more defensive builds involving a focus will be able to hinder opponents' attacks further through weakness, a previously elusive condition for Elementalists. Fire now possesses Blinding Ashes, which causes setting opponents on fire to also blind them, with a cooldown of 5 seconds. While this trait is effective, investing 6 points in fire is not particularly useful in most world vs world or player vs player builds. It's possible to imagine a variation of Dagger Scepter builds which forego Fresh Air in exchange for this. The worst of the bunch belongs to Water, Aquatic Benevolence. It increases the healing output to allies of the Elementalist by 25%. The issue here is that the few healing abilities Elementalists possess have long cooldowns and pale in comparison to blasting water fields. The other challenge for Aquatic Benevolence is that the 2 other Grandmaster water traits are both excellent, so it's unlikely this trait will have any popularity. Last of all is Arcana. The new member to its ranks is Elemental Contingency. In other words, it provides events of elemental nature which have some level of uncertainty. This is of course untrue, as it generates boons based on the attunement of the Elementalist with a 10-second cooldown. The durations are solid, and it can produce some very interesting counterplay to Burst by utilising both the protection from Earth and retaliation from Fire. However, Vigour and Fury are not a problem for Elementalists, so the Air and Water boons are less important. Elemental Contingency is definitely worth at least one try. After that you can go back to Evasive Arcana.